Alright, what's up guys? We're here with another video. This time, it's on the truck. On this video, I'm going to be doing a quick walk down on control arms for this. This is going to be a rear-wheel drive model, so it's going to have different arms than the four-wheel drives. For the two-wheel drives though, Moog does make a replacement, which will be right here. We got the Moog replacement arms. These arms come with the main bushings and the top ball joint. So for the passenger side, I had to mark it because I actually forgot which one was which. The passenger side arm is going to end up being this number. That's going to be the passenger side arm. And for the driver side arm, it's going to end up being this. Alright, jump over to the truck. So obviously the first step is going to be, I didn't even record any of this stuff because it's pretty straightforward. This, you got to take the wheel off, obviously. In order to do that, you got to jack the truck up. Definitely support it with a jack stand. That way if it falls, it's not going to fall on you because this thing would hurt if it landed on you. So we'll get that out of the way. But first, take the wheel off. It should be fastened down with 19mm lug nuts. If it's not, it's probably, let's say it lost that metal shell, it's probably an 18 or maybe a 17. If they do fight you, I would just recommend getting a new set. But I get it, some people don't want to do that, so 19mm will be, it should be the OEM size. Alright, now once you got the wheel off, you're going to have to access the bottom of the ball joint. I go in through the bottom. All I did was use an adjustable wrench because it was a tight fit in there between this and all that. I went in, and if you want to know the actual nut size, the nut size is a 24mm, so it's pretty big. Like I said, I just went in there, came up underneath, and then basically pulled it and loosened it out. Then what you're going to need to do, sometimes they will try to fight you, separating from the main arm. You can get a pickle fork, like so. Wedge it in here and then hammer it, and it should split it. Before I swapped out with this new one, I had to put a little heat on it. Just remember that if you're using heat in here, don't get this brake line hot. If that brake line gets hot, it's going to be a bad day. So I don't recommend that. I recommend just using the pickle fork, probably like a 4-pound sludge, and then just drive it in there, and it should split them apart pretty good. To touch base on why I went with new arms versus a joint, with the new joints it comes with, or with the new arms it comes with new ball joint, fresh grease fitting, new rubbers for the arm itself to swivel. So definitely all around nice, and it's, well, a new arm, so that's nice. You can replace just the joint itself on these OEM arms, but the thing is, when you do that, these things are threaded in here, so you need a special socket. I mean, I do have that socket, but half the time the arm itself is so beat up or crusty and rusty and just bad that when you go to thread a new one in, the threads are so fine that it'll actually either mess up the threads, or when you're driving, it could have a possibility that the threads are so weak that it will pop that joint back out. Had that happen in the past with a replacement arm. It was used, but a replacement arm, and it literally popped the whole thing out. So I was literally driving down the road and it was just coming up through. I mean, it was fine, but it looked like I was cambered out, like, or as we call it in the car world, tilty wheel guys. I'm not into that, so yeah. But back to that. So what I like to do with this, I usually use a second jack up underneath. I jack it up to hold the pressure, that way this thing doesn't come falling down. Use the pickle fork, go ahead and drive it. This thing will split up. Once I have these two separated, I'll go up top, and then you're gonna have to remove this bolt or this nut and this nut. These were also, I want to say they were 22mm bolts. You basically just have to get in there and do it. Now, when you put the new one, or take the old one off and put the new one on, keep in mind of how close this thing is, because it's going to start throwing everything off, because this is more of like a kind of like a suspension part. Sorry about that, I'm having a, I guess, no talk day. But when you take the old one off, watch, there's going to be markings on it from the grooves on the bottom side of these control arms. The grooves go down so they have some bite against the body of the truck itself. I'll put torque specs down in the description like normal. That way you guys have those as well. But overall, it's pretty straightforward. This side is actually kind of nice to deal with because you actually have some room, minus the cylinder here. I just went right down through there, and I got access to that one. This one was pretty straightforward. It came out about a hair away from the master cylinder, so we're good on that aspect. For the passenger side's a little bit of a different story. It is a tighter fit. Depending on how the arms are adjusted, try to get you guys down there a little bit closer. Depending on how these arms are adjusted, depending on how thick the socket is that you use, it's going to come up against this manifold. So when it comes up against that manifold, it sucks because when you go to tighten it, it may tighten down fine. It's more or less the fact getting the socket back off that nut. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, but some people might get a socket stuck on there. You obviously can wiggle it off or do whatever you need to do, but just keep that in mind that it will come close depending on how that's adjusted. I have a lot of new stuff in here. Like you can tell the suspension's new, or the strut is new just by how that looks. I've gone through and I've replaced a lot of stuff on this, so a lot of this stuff wasn't really fighting me all that bad. Show you guys the passenger arm. Like I said, so this is what this groove looks like on the OEM arms. Same thing with the Moog arms that's on this thing now. The top side is going to be the smooth portion, and then when you flip it over, there's grooves. These grooves go down. That way it can bite into the mating surface on the truck, so that way you don't have to worry about it shifting around. But with the new arms, like I said, it comes with the new joint. Like obviously mine's pretty beat. It comes with new bushings, which mine are pretty beat. These things basically just get tightened down. You set the position on this. You can do it one of two ways. You can kind of get super close and hold it in position and then tighten it down, which is going to be a 22 mil or 24 mil. You can tighten it down then, or you can put it on, adjust it, and then tighten it. But when you put it on, keep in mind, like I said, I mean, that's how much space you're working with on that back nut. The front nut, you'd be alright, but then keep in mind you're like right up against it, so I wouldn't really deal with that, but that's just me. But yeah, it's definitely a decent deal to just go ahead and get the whole new arm. I think the arms were like $60 or $70. It wasn't that bad. Maybe 80. I'll have to put, like I said, I'll post a link for these two in my description below. But yeah, overall, super easy job. I had a shop that wanted to charge me, I think it was $140 for each arm, so there's about $300 for the pair. They wanted to charge me, I think they said it was 2 hours of labor per side at $130 an hour, so there's $260 plus the $300 for that, so basically we'll just say $900, which is honestly ridiculous, but I get it. I mean, not many people want to tackle this job, so yeah, there you go. Just getting these two, it's like $150, $160, and then just basically your time. It took me, honestly, this one wasn't that bad. This one fought me more. I think it was like maybe 45 minutes to do that side, about half an hour to do that side. The worst part was grease. It was just grease everywhere. But it was a pretty straightforward job. Like I said, you only need like a handful of tools. The biggest thing is going to be putting it back on and making sure you're semi-close. I have to take this thing in for an alignment since I put the new rack and pinion on it. I don't really drive this thing like that though, so to me I can let it sit for a minute. But definitely wanted to get the new control arms on before I ended up doing that. As you can see, the new rack and pinion with the new tie rods. So we got the tie rods, rack and pinion, and control arms. So this thing will be ready to go to alignment because that will throw the balance off on alignment. But besides that, I'm gonna end this video. Hopefully that helped a little bit for you guys to get like an idea of what you're looking for. The Moog kit does come with the arm. Like I said, all the bushings are coming with it. It's already coming with this. It comes with a grease fitting. You have to put it on. It comes with the new castle nut, and it comes with a new cotter pin. So, decent deal. It should come with everything, and you'll be all set. But besides that, I'm gonna end this video. Gotta make another video on the Mad Dog, and I gotta make another video on the Genesis, just so you guys know. My Genesis is down for a motor rebuild, and that is why those are rod bearings. Yes, that is a rod bearing, and the crank's destroyed. But that's another video, and this thing's just fun. But besides that, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, like always, drop them down in the comments, and I will try to get back to them as quick as I can. I'm usually pretty good on answering people's comments, both good and negative comments. Just so you know, I do see all of them. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you want to help me grow the channel, keep sharing the content, because we're almost at 5K. Once we get over 5K, I can start doing more and more and more. But the goal right now is 5K, and then once I hit 5K, I can start adding other stuff like the Subaru or BMW, or what else we got, or even the Mustang or the lawnmower if you're really feeling it. But besides that, peace. Be safe out there, guys.